We'll pick up by reviewing our Rama table, and then we'll continue. We'll all say it together. Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Ramam, Ramo, Raman. Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramehi. Ramaya, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyah. Ramat, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyah. Ramasya, Ramayoho, Ramanam. Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. He Rama, He Ramo, He Ramaha. One more time. Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Ramam, Ramo, Raman. Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramehi. Ramaya, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyah. Ramat, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyah. Ramasya, Ramayoho, Ramanam. Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. He Rama, He Ramo, He Ramaha. Okay. If I want to say for all the Ramas, what word will that be? For all the Ramas. I see some people saying it. Ramebhyah. Correct. If I want to say, of all the Ramas, of all the Ramas, that will be Ramanam. If I want to say the two Ramas went to the market, the two Ramas as a subject, it will be Ramo. Ramo. Everybody should try and practice this for themselves. You ask yourself a question and then you try and see if you can, how quickly you take, how much time you take to identify the correct answer. Because this table, you're going to keep getting variations of this table. So the sooner that you're fluent with the table, means able to look and find and identify, the more easy all your homework and all your classwork will be. So get familiar with it, get familiar with what each case means, so you don't need to look down the list each time, get very familiar with the fact that the first column is singular, the second column is dual, the third column is plural, and what each of the cases means. Eventually, Aya will mean something to you, like Shivaya. Everyone should know that means for Lord Shivana. Devaya, everyone should know that means for the Deva. That Aya sound should be stuck in your mind as fourth case. I should say Aya and you should say, oh yes, fourth case, like that, right? If not all of them, a few of them should start to stick in your mind as, oh wait, I know that. So it will help you as you go along in your Sanskrit grammar journey. Okay, then your challenge for yesterday was to write the Deva table. The substantive word in the same table was now replaced with Deva instead of Rama. Everybody please note, yesterday I missed writing this little A on the Deva. If you got confused, I am sorry. That is one of the perils of learning Sanskrit when you're older and when you're not a child. You just sometimes miss letters. So we have to pay extra attention when we learn it in our later ages. Okay. I'll go through this and you all please check your work and see if you have the same thing as me. Then I'll pause, I'll take questions, and then we will continue. I'm going to say, and I would like, who can I see? Sonali, please repeat with me. Devaha,
Devah.
Okay, I'll choose somebody else. Where are you going?
Devah.
Devo.
Deval.
Devaha.
Devaha.
Devam.
Devam.
Devo.
Deval.
Devan.
Devan.
Everybody should be repeating. Muted. Devena.
Devena.
No, Devena.
Devena.
Not wrong. Devena.
Devena.
Devabhyam.
Devabhyam.
Devehi.
Devehi.
Devaya.
Devaya.
Devabhyam.
Devabhyam.
Devebhyah.
Devebhyah.
Devat.
Devat.
Devabhyam.
Devabhyam.
Devebhyah.
Devebhyah.
Devasya.
Devasya.
Devayoho.
Devayoho.
Devanam.
Devanam.
Deve.
Deve.
Devayoho.
Devayoho.
Deveshu.
Deveshu.
He Deva.
He Deva.
He Devo.
He Deva.
He Devaha.
He Devaha.
Good. Now we'll repeat it again all together. Everyone say with me. Devaha. Devo. Devaha. Together. Devam. Devo. Devan. Devena. Devabhyam. Devehi. Devaya. Devabhyam. Devebhyah. Devat. Devabhyam. Devebhyah. Devasya. Devayoho. Devanam. Deve. Devayoho. Deveshu. He Deva. He Devo. He Devaha. How's that sounding to everybody? Okay. Any questions? Actually, everybody should have a question. Yes, Harini ji.
Sorry, maybe silly question, but the na is the why it is different here? I use the same na, maybe any grammatic thing.
Devena and Devanam. I hope everybody got that wrong.
And then because that was Rama, Ramena, right? So this was so the na I put was different. So
Who
yeah.
has that question? Everybody should have that question. Actually, that is the next sequential question when you talk about this. Okay, now let me ask you. Everybody knows that this letter is a placeholder for nasal sounds, correct? Okay, now see these words. What is the first word? Somebody raise your hand and I'll unmute you. First word. Kritika.
Hungry.
Hamgry?
Hungry.
Remember, this is a placeholder for nasals.
Hungry.
Somebody said hangry. Everybody knows the word hangry?
Yeah.
I'm feeling so hangry. That means that I'm hungry, therefore I'm angry. You've not heard that statement before? Hangry, right? I'm hangry. So you may not know the word, but naturally your mouth will say hangry instead of hamgry. Because which one is easier to say? Hangry. Okay, then this next one. Do we say ginger? Ginger? No, we say ginger. Correct? Did I say it the way you say it? Ginger or ginger, however you say it. The ending might be different, but the first part will be the same. Ginger, right? That because it comes with a j sound, you'll say nj. Your mouth will naturally say it even though it's written as m dot. Then this one, round, round. This one will be under, under. And this one will be umbrella. So, really speaking, and I mean, you just substituted, it might look confusing here, right? But if you just substitute that, remove the m dot, and you put an n, you'll see what I'm talking about more clearly. These are all n. Round, under, ginger, hangry. They all use letter N in the English language, but they're all pronounced differently. And you know how to pronounce each of them automatically when you see the word, true or false. Well, it is the same thing in Sanskrit. When you get to nasals, depending on the word, the nasal will be different. The only difference is in English, there's no rule that we know of. But and there's no different documentation. In Sanskrit, it is written differently, and there are rules for when to use which one. So if you can't hear it, you can follow the rule. Okay? So I'm going to give you the rule now. You'll write it down, and that rule will be like your best friend for when you're doing the table and you're trying to figure out if it is na or if it is or no. Okay? So write down the rule and then we'll talk about it. Okay. Everyone good? When in a particular word, na is preceded by r, or sh, the na changes to or no. So in this word that we had, Ra, me, na. Because there was a r, actually what happened is that this na, which is the normal na in the declension table, got changed to na. So it became ra, me, na. So the ra is actually exception and not the rule. Hmm? Whenever you see a r, a r means that r or sh, this rule will apply. But there's one more rule that goes with this. Hmm? You might be looking at this saying, oh my God, this is so complicated. But let me tell you something. In our kids' grammar class, the kids are able to follow this rule like nothing. So it's not complicated. It just needs a little bit of attention. Okay. So maybe I can tell you how the kids remember it. We tell them a story to help them to remember. Here's your story. Let me read the rule out to you first. There are some letters, if they fall between r, etc., meaning this r, and sh, and the n, they block the change, meaning the change will not happen. For example, a word like rachana. Rachana. This n, will it change to n according to this rule? There's a r, so it should change. Correct? But there is also a ch, and the ch blocks the change. So if there's a ch, it will not let the r change n to n. It blocks the change, it stops the change from happening. Okay, this all sounds very complicated, but just hear this. You already know how r is a troublemaker. Correct? Even though Ra is part of Rama's name, he's the troublemaker. He looks different when you write him as a half letter. He looks different in conjunct. So we know R is difficult to deal with. So here he is. Well, R and R sound like R, correct? So you know how friends stick together. Friends of the same color. What is it? Birds of the same feather flock together, right? So R, the troublemaker R, along with R and R, who are his gang members, they hang out together. Then they have a secret best friend, which is another difficult letter, which is sh. So what are the letters? R, 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 and sh. These four letters are our difficult, complicated letters. So when they come in a word, they're going to cause trouble. What is the trouble that they're going to cause? They're going to take na and they're going to convert it to ra. Now, is it true that a naughty or a difficult child can always cause trouble? No. If there is an adult around, like a strict parent, they can stop that trouble from happening. Correct? They can stop the trouble from happening. So these are what we call in this circumstance the adult letters that block these troublemakers from making trouble. So the R, 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 and Sh cannot change N to R if these letters are around. So far, so good? The other rule is that they can only cause trouble one time. Meaning, in a word, if you have R and then you have two Ns, the N can only be changed once. So, for example, see this word. Ra, va, N. There's a R, so there's some trouble, some change going to happen. Is there a letter that is going to block the change? Between R and N, there's no letter that will block the change. So Ravana becomes Ravana. So one time they've made mischief. The letter has been changed. Now you want to write Ravana in third case. So you want to add Ena. Ena is the ending. So you're going to add Ena. Can the N change to Ra? There's a Ra, but will this N change to Ra? Even though there's a Ra, this will not change because it has already been changed over here. You take the word as a whole, and the change can only be applied one time. So when there's a R, a R, a R, or a Sh, they change the N to Rna. Unless there's Ch, Ch, J, J, T, T, D, T, 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 D, T, anywhere in the word between the R, or that whichever letter, and the N. It could be anywhere between those two. And the easy way to remember it is that these four gang members go around causing trouble, trying to change N to R to make it more difficult for us, because that's just what they do. But there are adult letters who can help to block the change. And then I don't know if I said L. Huh? The way I remember this easily is, you know the table with the letters? It's Ch followed by up to 4, meaning Ch, Ch, J, Ch. 4 in the Ch line. T, 4 in that line. T, 4 in that line. And then L. And if you want to remember why L is there, because, well, in this part of the world, when you say licks, it means like slaps, right? So these troublemakers will get licks if they try to do anything. So the L has to be in there too. Right, so you can remember it however you want. I mean, this is just a fun, silly way to remember it. Really speaking, once you get more familiar with the way the language, the sounds are pronounced, you won't even need the rule because naturally your mouth will say it correctly. This is a very technical rule to tell you which one to use. Now, if I give you a declension to do and you write na instead of or na, it's not the end of the world. You just look at it when it's corrected and you're like, oh yes, it was the other one. And then you move on in life. So don't stress. This is not a stress worthy rule. You have other things in your life to stress about. Please stress about those things. This is not a stress. This is just a rule that eventually you will understand one day if it doesn't come naturally to you. It's there for your reference. But if you use the wrong na, don't worry, we'll just keep changing it and using the right na as we go along. Okay? I hope everyone feels okay. This is not supposed to overwhelm anybody. But if I don't give this rule, then you'll think Sanskrit is just like English. Sometimes you use na, sometimes you use na, but you said Sanskrit's not like English. So I have to defend myself with the rules. So here's my defense. Sanskrit is not like English. It has rules that we follow. Okay? So don't stress about it. I'm saying that again. Don't stress about this rule. Just remember the fun of the complicated letters and then see, oh, there might be some letter that blocks it. And you can check. You can always reference. You can check if your notes are good. You'll know exactly where to find this rule. And then you can change it. Okay? Homework and then questions. So we have done Deva and we have done Rama. Now we are going to do two more today. We're going to not leave out our Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And we're not going to leave out our Bhagavan Shiva. They're both masculine words ending with a. So you're going to practice the declension table with Krishna, and you're going to practice it with Shiva. And from tomorrow, the practice will stop and we'll start using words directly. Okay, so please write out these tables, say them as you're writing them, get familiar with adding the correct endings, and see what questions come to your mind as you do it. And today, no 1.10. Instead, there's sentences with this. So 2 declensions and sentences sounds good? 2 declensions and 6 sentences. Okay. We'll do closing prayer and then I'll open for questions. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Shri Satgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Question.